Sitting well on your seat, find your sitting bones. Evenly weight through both sitting bones and both feet. And then draw your arms right beside your body so that your elbows to your armpits are nestled up against the sides of your ribs. And maybe what you feel is that the sides of your arms become this external support for the structure of you. Now, as you push down evenly into both feet, as well as both sitting bones, lift up through your spine. And now breathe. I know you've already been breathing, so notice your breath. The first step in this shift, or what I like to call jumping the groove, changing our relationship or perspective or understanding, is that we first have to recognize where we are. This moment, where are we? And that's what connecting with the breath does. It allows us to open to this moment. So as you breathe, and you can feel your ribs on the inhale expand into the sides of your arms. And that's an opening from the inside of you. With each inhalation, there's an expansion on the inhale from the inside of you that expands your rib cage circumferentially. That's a big word. But that means the full circumference, right? So that the breath is just not in the front body. It's in the sides of you and the back of you. What we're after is a continued willingness to recognize where we are in this moment. And right now, right here, all is good. All is well as we breathe. Bring your hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Keep your heart lifting. Just take the gaze of your eyes, and even if your eyes are closed, just a downward gaze of the eyes into your own heart, recognizing this willingness that's within you. It's why you showed up for class today. You were willing to be present in this moment. And then release your hands and open your eyes. All right, so you're on the edge of your chair seat, both sitting bones down, feet down, big breath up. We'll do 4 of those in a row. Breathe and move. Two more times. So inhale to lift the arms up and exhale to lower. Really good stuff for the lungs and the respiratory diaphragm. Easy, simple, awesome. Take a big breath up, keep your arms up. And now just your right arm. I am teaching right, left. I am practicing right, left. I might look different than you. Right arm down. I am using my right arm. Tip over to the right. Breathe. Push with your feet. In breath and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Big breath up. Exhale, left arm down. Tip to the left. Keep rooting into your right sitting bone, your right foot. Inhale and rise. Exhale and release your arms. Inhale, big breath up. Open your arms out to a T. Bring your arms into the front plane. Slide your fingers together. Turn your palms away from you. So the back of your hand, the back of your hand, which is the top of your hand, faces you. The palm faces away from you. Breathe. Draw your belly back. Tuck your tail. Drop your head. Round your spine into cat. In breath, sit up tall. Keep reaching from the back of your heart into your hands as you try to slide your fingers apart. On the exhale, tuck your tail, round your spine like a cat, drop your head in. So you are flexing your spine. One more time. In breath, sit up tall. Keep reaching from the back of your heart to your fingertips as you try to slide your fingers apart, but don't. Tuck your tail, round your spine, drop your head in. coming into spinal flexion. In-breath, rise tall. Keep your hands as they are. Just raise them up to the sky. Exhale your arms down, back in front of your shoulder girdle. 2 more times. Keep trying to slide the fingertips apart as you lift and lower your arms. Elbows are a little soft. Here's your last one. Open your arms out to a T, release them to your side. Reach your arms up to the sky, out to a T. Bring your right arm into the midline, left arm underneath. If your arms don't twist like mine and they're apart, that's perfect. Right? So wherever the arms are is fine as long as they're both crisscrossing one another. Reach out from the back of your heart to your elbow tips, and it's just your head that's going to move. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. On an exhale, head drops in. In-breath, head lifts up. As you keep this moving with your breath, expand from the back of your shoulder girdle, that's the back of your own heart, to your elbow tips. So you're going from the back body to the front body with a reach. Next time your head is balanced on top of your pelvis, release your arms. In breath, raise your arms up, open them out to a T. This time it's the left arm that comes in, the right arm underneath. Breathe. Move from the back of your heart to your elbow tips in an expansion, a willingness to open to new possibilities. And then on the exhale, bow in with your head. In breath, head lifts up. Keep that going. A few more times. Stay with your breath. It's what keeps you connected to this moment. It's what keeps you alive. So breathe and enjoy it. Head balanced on top of pelvis. Open your arms wide. Exhale your arms down by your side. Reach your arms up to the sky. Big reach. Open them out to a T. And then take your hands to the back and hold on to any part of your chair that you can grab. You can be touching the seat of the chair. You can be holding on to the back of the chair. And then whatever you're holding on to, push it down. Like try to drive it down. And that downward action, that downward push of the arms helps lift the front of your chest. Breathe now into the front of your chest. It's opening wide with just the arms in the back plane. Take a couple more breaths here. So all these arm and shoulder stretches that we do in the beginning are really good for breathing and the lungs. So good stuff for us as we move through this time to stay open with our tissue. Release your arms down by your side. Inhale, take a big breath up. Open your arms out to a T. Bring your arms back behind you again. We're just going to add a head movement. So you've got the arms back behind you. Push with your feet, press with your sitting bones. Use your hands and drive downward in your action so it lifts up through your heart. And now just your head bows in and lifts up. A couple more times. Use the exhale to drop the head down. In breath to balance your head on top of your pelvis. Here's your last one. Once your head is upright again, release your arms. Take a wide stance in your chair. Hold on to your legs. So your hands are going to push down on your thigh bones. And pushing down, you've already discovered, lifts you up. So bring your heart forward, tip forward from your pelvis, forward fold, touch the floor. We're not going to be in the chair much longer. So if you're new to class, thinking we're in this chair for the whole hour, we are not. Breathe. We are going to change lots of times into lots of different shapes. Bring your hands to your thigh bones, push into your thigh bones, heart moves forward, in breath and come up. Bring your legs together, turn sideways. I'm turning to the right. So turn to the right on your chair. Keep both sitting bones on the chair. In breath, raise your arms up. Keep facing the direction that you've turned to the right. Just put your right arm down on the back of the chair. And actually grab the chair and pull it towards you so it starts to stabilize your right side waist. On your next exhale, turn your left ribs towards the back of the chair. So think about the left back body leading the twist. Breathe. Place both hands on the back of the chair now. Push with your right hand into the chair back. Pull with your left hand. On an in-breath, return back to center. Keep your legs together. Swing around to the other side. So you're sitting On your chair, both sitting bones are sitting on the base of the chair for this one. All right, push your feet down, legs squeezed together, raise your arms up, breathe. On the exhale, just your left arm down, that's the back arm. Squeeze the back of the chair towards you, pulling it towards you. I'm using my forearm to pull the chair towards me. And that pulling action towards you, hopefully you feel through the left side waist, this engagement that's happening. Keep what you have as you breathe. On an exhale, turn your right rib. So it's the back of you on the right side, because remember the ribs are mostly in the back body. The back of the right ribs turn you to the left. And then place your right hand anywhere on the back of the chair and breathe. Push with your left hand. Another breath. Use an in-breath to twist to come out of it. Good. And then keep your legs together, turn around, face me. Up and down out of the chair a few times. So get a comfortable stance. Come to the edge of your chair, let your arms dangle. Tip forward at the hip crease, push with your feet, in-breath and rise. Exhale and release your arms. Swoop your arms forward. Hinge at the hip crease, sit down, really reach back so you can find the chair seat. And if you need to reach your hand back for safety, to make sure you land in the chair seat, please do. 4 more times, here we go. In-breath, rise. Exhale, release your arms. In-breath, reach your arms up. Pike at the pelvis so that the hip crease flexes. Yep, to sit, good. Here we go again. 3 more. In-breath. Exhale, arms down. Push with your feet, rise tall with the arms, lift up through the top back of the head. Exhale, sit the rear end way back there, way back there. Have a seat. Here we go again, last 3. Exhale, arms down. In breath, arms up. Hip flexion, sit way back with the bottom. Good, 2 more, up we go. In breath, rise. Exhale, fold. So you're working chair pose, literally, to Tadasana. So this standing pose is called Tadasana. When you go to sit down in yoga, that one's called Uttasana, chair pose. So hover a little bit. Don't go all the way down. Hover, hover, demonstrate. This would be chair pose without the chair. Now ease yourself down super slow on that last one. So you control that with the strength of your legs. All right, up we go for good this time. Rise up. Exhale and release your arms. Take your chair now and place it at the top of your mat. Let's use the chair back facing us. I have the chair to the right of me. I'll be moving it right, left. You can keep it on the same side of your mat as you practice. And with the chair back facing me, at least 2 rungs are on the yoga mat. Walk back and let's take an L pose. So hands on the chair back, bend your knees and spread your toes. Lift your sitting bones up to the sky. Keep your ribs and your armpits lifting as you press down through your hands. Breathe. This is a phenomenal shape for the spine. So clients that come to me with pain in the back, I often teach them L pose. So right there, you just got a private, you just save some money. This is a #1 recipe for feeling better through your back. You don't have to be this low in the shape either. You could use a wall and be much taller in the shape. Walk into your chair to come out. Place your right foot under the chair. Step your left foot back for a high lunge. Left foot, left heel is lifted. Take the head of the right shin bone and move it forward. Use your right hand, press down on the top of the chair, raise your left arm up. Breathe. On your exhale, return your left hand to the chair, push with your right foot, step forward with your left. Left foot under the chair, right foot back. So we're doing good with our willingness to participate this morning. Press down with your left hand. Keep the lift and the articulation through your right foot as you in-breath and raise your right arm up. As we practice together, what also comes into play is this steadiness, the steadiness of our commitment. And there's a lot of commitments in our lives that have been steady and true. And that's easy to identify in relationships. Exhale, your right hand down, step together. Let's step back for L pose again. But there's also a steadiness to not just interpersonal relationships, like, you know, with a partner, a loved one. We have steadiness in our work and these commitments we've made to bring the wisdom and the creativity within us out to the larger community by sharing our gifts with the world. Walk into your chair to come out. All right, grab your 2 couch pillows or a yoga block, if you have one, or like a small play ball. So you have lots of choices for what to use to teach this muscular energy between the legs. So I'm going to use the 2 couch pillows because normally that's what everybody has at home. They've got some sort of dense pillows you could use. All right, bend your knees a little bit once you've got them placed. And they're up, I know they're big, but they're up in between my inner thighs. So they're from my pelvis down to my knees. And if you're using a smaller object like a yoga block, put it up higher towards the pelvis. All right, once you got them in there, bend your knees, spread your toes. Now, don't knock your knees in, right? So we've worked on this before. We're trying not to knock our knees to the midline. We're just trying to squeeze the pillows and feel the inner line of our legs strongly engage, right? So just, I'm going to take the pillows out. You keep them there. It's not about bringing the knees together like that. It's about holding the shape of the legs, but having something to squeeze so that you can feel that the inner line of the leg is toning and the muscles of the inner line are engaging. So the inner and outer edges of us, inhale, raise your arms up. The inner and outer edges of us, breathe. You're sitting in Uttasana here, chair pose. The inner and outer edges of us keep us steady in life, right? They create stability. And we're working on the inner edge of the legs right now. Release your arms down. Take your pillows out. And let's just stand for a moment. We'll take the same shape without the pillows. You can probably still feel the charge, right, through the inner line of the legs. Hands to the pelvis, breathe. On an exhale, with your toes spreading, weight in the heels, bend your knees, let your hips flex and your knees flex and your ankles flex. Yeah. Now, without moving your knees together, squeeze the inner line of your legs. Can you find that same muscular action on the inner edges of your legs? Keep it, raise your arms up, try to sustain it. That's a willingness. It's a willingness to stay present in the work. Open the arms out to a T, still sustaining at the inner line of the legs. Clasp your hands in the back plane. I'm just going to turn around. You stay there. Just turning around to show you. So I'm just clasping my hands, elbows bent. Breathe. Draw down through your tail, lift up through your heart. So you're adding a little bit of a back bend quality to it. Tail down, heart lifts. And then release your arms, straighten your legs. Okay, walk back for L pose. Come over to your chair, walk back, take a wide stance, bend your knees without moving your knees towards one another. So your knees continue to track with your frontal hip bone, the center of the knee, the center of the ankle, and the second toe. So your knees are lining up with that plumb line. Frontal hip bone, center of the knee, center of the ankle, somewhere between the second and fourth toe. All right, you got a little range there depending on how your feet are structured. Breathe, lift your sitting bones up to the sky. And now squeeze the inner line of your legs as if you have a couple of big pillows in there. So this is your ability to stay steadfast through the legs, to find this inner line engagement. Keep that and root down from your outer edges of your pelvis to your outer heels. And feel how that's another line of engagement on the outer edge of you. So you have the inner line squeezing in, you have the outer edge rooting down. Walk into your chair to come out. Turn your chair seat around. So now the seat faces you. Take a nice wide stance with your toes spreading and your hands on your pelvis. Turn your left foot in, turn your right foot all the way open. As you root down from your pelvis to your heels, draw your inner thighs towards one another and reach up to the sky with your arms. Take another breath, arms out to a T, and on the exhale, hand to the chair seat. Continue to tone the inner line of your legs by imagining pillows or big yoga blocks in between them as you pull the legs towards one another. And then root down from the outer hips, the outer edges of your pelvis, to the outer edges of your heels, particularly in your back foot. You're in a pose called triangle pose in yoga. As you stay with your breath, start to see the world in a new way by turning your bottom rib cage a little bit towards me. Bottom ribs a little bit towards me. Push into your back foot, inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your feet parallel, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. We'll move the chair to the other side, or you just turn around, right? You can turn around. You don't have to move the chair. So now the chair is on the left side of me. Left foot is the closest foot to the chair. Right foot is the back foot. Turn the right foot slightly in. Turn your left foot all the way open. With your hands on your pelvis, breathe. Engage your legs by pulling the feet towards one another and also toning the inner thighs in an upward lift. So the inner thighs pull up and squeeze in. Reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. Root down from the outer edges of your pelvis to your outer heels. And on an exhale, hand to the chair seat. Left hand down, top hand to the sky. Breathe. Triangle pose. Turn your bottom ribs just a little bit more towards the direction you're looking. So bottom ribs, base of the ribs, forward. Top rib cage back behind you. It's beginning to twist, right? Push with your back foot. Inhale and come up. Exhale, release your arms. Turn your feet parallel. Heel toe, come together. Move your chair back to the first side or turn around, depending on what you're doing. I'm moving my chair. Nice wide stance again. Right foot is the foot closest to the chair. Left foot turns slightly in. Right foot turns all the way open. Reach your arms up to the sky, out to a T. Stand strong in your back leg. Tone the back leg inner thigh so you feel it lifting, right? So you're squeezing the muscles of the left leg inner thigh. Keep that lift and tone and release your front hip to come into a knee bend. So you're in warrior two. Turn your gaze to look towards your right hand. Stay with your breath. Right hand to the chair seat, left arm to the sky. So you're in a variation of side angle pose. Take your top arm first, reach it forward in the direction of your eyes, and then over your head so that your arm is extending beyond the crown of your head. Breathe. Keep rooting into both heels, squeezing the inner line of the legs, both of them. Push with your feet, in breath and come up. Exhale and release your arms, lengthen your legs. Turn your feet parallel, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Move your chair to your second side or turn around. Take a wide stance. Chair is closest to my left foot. Back foot is the right foot. Right foot turns in. Left foot turns all the way open. Engage your legs. So spread your toes, root into your heels, and become steadfast in your legs. You already know today's action, right? It has to do with the inner thighs and outer hips to outer heels. So when you hear steadfast in my cue, your response is going to be inner line of the legs squeezing, outer edges from hip to heel rooting. Arms reach up, out to a T. Steadfast in the legs. Release the front hip, come into a knee bend. Turn your gaze and look over your front arm. Warrior two, steadfast in your legs. Breathe. Next breath cycle, left arm to the chair seat, top arm to the sky. I think you know what the legs are going to do. You know the word. And from the word, you know the actions. Put it together. Top arm reaches forward in the direction you're looking, and then over your head so that your bicep and tricep of your top arm lines up along your ear and reach. Recommit, be willing to remain steadfast in your legs. And as you push down with your feet, inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your feet parallel, heel toe, your feet together. All right, chair back to the first side or turn around. So the chair's to the right side of me. Step back for L pose. Bend your knees, spread your toes. All right, you got to be really steady in the legs here because I'm not really interested today in the pelvis or knees moving. The twist, what we're looking for is that the twist is going to come from the rib cage. It's really good for the lungs. All right, so toes, root into your heels. You know how to be steadfast in your legs. So keeping your left, take your right hand, reach it towards your left foot. Doesn't have to get there. It could be anywhere. It's like anywhere on that path, right? Anywhere on the path, you're allowed to go. So where you've gone is good enough. Even back off a little bit. Move away from the foot if you've grabbed the foot. Move now from the rib cage. So as you push down with your left arm and extend from your pelvis through your left side waist to your left fingertips. You want to get that extension. Turn from the back of the right ribs to the left. So you'll be peeking underneath your left arm just a little bit more. Breathe. Now that you've added this twist, there's a possibility of maybe moving the right hand wherever it wants to go, wherever it feels like it wants to go, where it has the freedom to go. On your next breath, walk your right hand back towards center, bring it onto the chair back, walk into your chair to come out, just stand for a second. Might be new for some of you guys. All good. Let's go to the second side. Step back for L pose. Bend your knees. Root into your heels and spread your toes. Now without moving your knees, so the knees don't go anywhere, they just hold the line. You know the tracking of the knees, frontal hip bone, center of the knee, center of the ankle, and then the center of the knee lines up somewhere between the second and fourth toe. So you've got to look at yours and make sure, right? You've got to be like, okay, cool, I got that. Now, steadfast in the legs. You know what that means, inner thighs, and then outer hip to outer heel rooting. Press down with your right hand, but keep the right armpit lifting up. Take your left hand to the ground, and it's working on a diagonal towards the right foot. It doesn't have to get there. In fact, in the beginning of this shape, it's probably best if it's away from the right foot, like somewhere on the trajectory line. Continue to draw the right side of your pelvis back so that you keep length from your right hip to your right armpit. And then reach even more. Add the expression of more stretch, more reach from your right pelvis reaching back, meanwhile, while your right arm reaches forward. On your next exhale, from the back body on the left side, the back of the ribs on the left side, turn your left ribs to the right. You may not get a lot of movement. That's okay. You're getting like awesome movement, right? And you can see the world in a new way because you're peeking under your right armpit. Breathe. Biggest thing you can do right now is breathe. Next, in breath, walk your left hand back towards center. Bring your left hand to the chair, towards your chair to come out. Just stand for a second. That can be a big one for a lot of folks to make that rotation. Okay. So left foot forward, right leg back. This is a short stance. Left foot forward, right leg back. It's a short stance. My legs are not far apart. When they're not that far apart, it gives me a really awesome opportunity to pull them together, right? The further apart they are, the harder it is to pull them together. If you've ever slid on ice, you know, your legs were going out, it was hard to pull them in. Closer together, you can feel you can pull them in into that scissoring action. So back leg, stepping down, pulling forward, front foot, stepping down, pulling back. And when you do that, can you feel the inner line of the legs tone? In breath, raise your arms up. On the exhale, hinge from your hip crease, so folding at the hip joint. So the spine is staying long. Bring your hands to the chair back. Eventually work your hands to the chair seat and just breathe. So you've reached up and over the chair back to get there, which is good, right? If you went under the chair, through the chair, around the chair, you got another chance on the second side to go up and over the chair back. All right, bring your hands up to the chair back, push into your back foot with a long spine, heart moving forward, tail moving back, in breath and come up. Let's switch legs. So right leg forward, left leg back. It's a short stance again, both legs are long. Head, shoulders, ribs, pelvis are right on top of each other. And now get that scissoring action of the legs. And it's the back heel that pushes down as your toes spread out. And then you try to like isometrically pull it forward and you'll feel a tone come into your back leg. Push down into your front foot as you spread your toes and try to isometrically pull your front leg back, right? And it's from the heels. It's from the heels that those actions are happening at the foundation. And from the foundation, trying to scissor together, you can feel a tone all the way up your legs. You've got to sustain that and remain steady with that action. In breath, arms reach up. Steadfast in the legs, hinge from your hip crease, bow. Heart moves forward. Be willing to let your heart go forward in new ways. Bring your hands to the chair back. Eventually, your hands can slide down to the chair seat. Remember, you're going up and over the chair back. So for some of you that chose really tall back chairs, right? You've got a big up and over. Yeah, it's all about our choices, isn't it? How hard the path is, how easy the path is, how we get around all the obstacles in our way, like the back of a chair, begins with some of the choices we make and how we're choosing to approach it. All right, hands back to the back of the chair. Push into your back foot, steadfast in the legs, heart forward, and come on up. Step together. All right, let's keep the left foot forward and the right leg back. Bend the left knee. So it's a short stance. So it's still that short stance. We're just bending the left knee. Good. Scissor the legs, right? So you know what that means. Push down with the back heel, pull it forward. Push down with the front heel and pull it back. In breath, raise your arms up. On the exhale, hinge from the hip crease. Put your hands on the chair seat. You went up and over the back of the chair. Pick up your back leg and lift it up in the air. Keep scissoring your legs towards one another, even though your right leg is in the air. Bend your front knee, touch down, hands up the chair back, step together. Second side, right foot forward, left leg back. Scissor the legs, steadfast. It's a short stance, front knee is barely bent. Short stance, staggered, barely bent. In breath, raise your arms up. On the exhale, hinge from your hip crease, hand to the chair seat, back leg, left leg lifts. Keep the scissoring action in the legs. Bend your front knee, touch down with your back leg, push with both feet, in breath, rise. Exhale and release your arms. All right, turn your chair seat around. And you may want a blanket for this, or you could use those pillows under your knees. We're gonna go down to kneeling. I'm not gonna use a blanket or pillows because my mat's fine for me, but if you've got knee tenderness, you can put a blanket down or pillows down for your knees. Okay, so facing your chair, seat, so 2 rungs at least on your yoga mat. Continue to trust yourself and the steadiness of your own legs. Do not trust the chair because the chair could move or slide, right? On an exhale, have a seat like you're going down into a chair. So this is chair pose, Uttasana. Bring your hands to your chair seat. Keep standing in your left foot. Step your right foot back. So now you're in a lower lunge. You've taken high lunges, but now you're in a lower lunge. Keeping your right hand on the chair seat, move your right hand a little bit over to the left. So your right hand has gone from the right side of the chair towards the left. Bring your left hand to your pelvis, to your thigh bone, right near your pelvis. So my left hand is way up at what we call the hip crease. My thumb is actually hooking into the fold of the hip crease, right? So it's where the femur head is coming into the socket and meeting the pelvis. My fingers are dangling down the side of the outer edge of my left side of my pelvis and thigh. Keep that. Now push more with your back foot. Reach back through your tail, extend through your heart. Turn your right ribs to the left. And I hope you're being steadfast in your legs, right? I know you are. Use your right hand and push the chair more. Push it. Don't push it away so it moves away. Push it down. Keep turning your right ribs to the left. Top arm up to the sky. Breathe. Nice twist. Seeing the world in a new way. Legs are going forward. You're twisting sideways to see things anew. On your next breath, return back to center on the in-breath, both hands to the chair seat. Push with your left foot, step your right foot forward. Bring your hands to your pelvis, reach your tail back, move your heart forward, and rise tall. Release your arms down by your side. Let's go for the other side. So inhale, big breath up. Exhale, have a seat like you're going to sit in a chair. Remember the actions of the legs. You did a great job in the warm-up, getting up and down out of the chair. How are the knees doing? You know, are they tracking well? And you know how to be steadfast in your legs, so keep that. On the exhale, bring your hands to the chair seat. Right foot is your front foot. Left leg steps back. It's a lower lunge, right? Breathe. Now use your hands and push off of the chair seat. Try not to lean on it. And use the strength of your own legs to hold you here. So like if I pulled the chair out right now, you could be like, oh, I got it, I'm not gonna fall, right? So, you know, could you remove your hands because your legs are that strong and steady. Work the actions of the legs that we've been practicing as you take your left hand to the right. Doesn't have to move far, it's just gonna cross the midline a little bit. Bring the right hand to the right hip crease. Root your right femur down. So as you anchor, as you use your right hand to press the right thigh bone towards the ground, what it gives you is a lift and an extension through your spine. Keep that, and then on an exhale, turn from the back body on the left side, the back of the left ribs to the right. Left ribs turning right, so you are turning towards your front leg. Keep moving your belly back into your body as you turn open. Draw down from your right outer hip to your right outer heel. Keep strong there. Right arm is an option to go up. Breathe. Another breath. You've turned to see the world in a new way, to change your pattern, your habit. And then right hand back down. Both hands to the chair seat on an in-breath. Return back to a neutral position of the spine. Push with your right foot. Swing your left foot forward. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Reach your tail back. Move your heart forward. In breath and rise. Pretty good, huh? All right, so going down, this time you're going to need your pillow. So left foot forward, right leg back. And the pillow would be underneath the back knee, the right knee. So pillow or blanket. I'll just show what that looks like. So it'll just be dropped right in the mat, somewhere about where the back knee is going to drop down. And as you go down, you can always adjust it. So left foot forward, right leg back, right knee down. If being right here is enough for you, stay here, stay bowed over. Add the actions of the legs. Back foot pushes down and pulls forward. Front heel pushes down and pulls back. Move your belly back. So I'm in spinal flexion in the moment. Breathe. Option is to work your hands towards your left hip crease. Both hands can leave the chair and come onto the left leg, or you can keep a hand on the chair. Move your belly back and lift up through your sternum. So now you're balancing your head and your ribs right on top of your pelvis. Turn your belly towards your front leg. On your next exhale, move your heart forward towards your left knee. You can rest your right forearm down on the chair. So we're twisting still, right? Right ribs turning left, back of the right ribs turning left. Use your exhales to increase the twist. Breathe. Keep squeezing your legs towards one another. All right, on your next breath, both hands back to the chair seat. Tuck your back toes, push with your back foot to lift your back leg up. Step together, hands to your pelvis, in breath and come up. Second side, in breath, reach up. Exhale, have a seat chair pose, hands to the chair seat as you fold forward. Keeping your right foot as your front foot, left foot steps back. Adjust your blanket or pillow. if you need it for the back knee. On an exhale, as you are steadfast in your legs, release the back hip so the back knee will bend and touch down. Breathe. So the back foot, the toes could be laying flat like I'm showing. You could also have them tucked under. Your knee will tell you which one it prefers. We'll refine those over the coming years, right? We'll refine what's going on there over the coming years. For now, bow in. So you could have just your right hand on your right thigh bone near your kneecap, or you could put both hands there, right? Pull your belly back so you're staying bowed in with this willingness to look inward to you, into your own heart. And as you let your outer right hip to your outer right heel root, right? So really give that a strong commitment. Start elevating from ribs to shoulders to heart to head. So you're lifting up and balancing on top of you. Breathe. This might be a big stretch for a lot of you in the back leg. So work in the range that's best for you. A hand could still be on the chair seat. Aim your heart now towards your right knee. So left ribs turn to the right to aim your heart towards your front knee. Take your left hand, left forearm, so you're coming back into a hip flexion, spinal flexion, to place your left forearm on the chair. Push with your left forearm down onto the chair. It'll give you lift. Continue to root your right outer hip down. Reach back through your tail, move forward through your heart so your spine grows longer. You start coming out of flexion. And now on an exhale, turn from the back of the left ribs to the right. So you're turning towards your front leg. Breathe. Use your left forearm and push to keep the lift. Use exhales to turn. Use in-breaths to fill. Remember what it felt like in the warm-up when you inhaled and you could feel the inhale fill you throughout the full circumference of you. You want that even here. So really awesome inhales, incredible exhales. Use an in-breath to return to center. Put both hands on the chair seat. Tuck your back toes. Push with your back foot. Step together. Hands to the pelvis. Steadfast through your legs. Tail back, heart forward. In-breath and come up. Okay, doing good. Let's turn the chair around. So now the seat is away from us. This is your big pose. This is your pinnacle pose. Been working the practice towards this one. Left foot forward, right leg back. The legs are staying long on this one, and it's a short stance. To square your pelvis towards the chair, like to orient both frontal hip bones so they're in the same parallel line as the back of the chair. Oftentimes we need to pull the right side of the pelvis forward, and you can use your right hand and actually move the right side of the pelvis forward, and then you can take your left hand and pull the left side of the pelvis back. Yeah, you can literally steer your own pelvis. Scissor your legs and remain steadfast in your willingness to be present in this moment. Lift up through your own heart. And as you exhale, hinge from the hip crease. Keep reaching back with your tail, forward with your heart. Just your right hand, bring it to the chair back. Now, if you can, move your right hand to the chair seat on a diagonal to the left corner. Right hand towards the left corner of your chair seat. Or it could just move across the back of the chair to the left. You have lots of choices here. But the right hand has done a diagonal line. So it's no longer in front of you, it's moving to the left. Continue to draw the left side of your pelvis back. It so much wants to move forward. Keeping the left side of the pelvis drawing back. Steadfast in your legs. You know what those cues mean. Push with your right hand. Push. And now turn on exhales, your right ribs to the left. Right ribs to the left. Back of the right ribs to the left. So you are turning towards your front leg. Top arm is an option to go up, doesn't have to. And you're in revolved triangle pose. Big pose. Take another breath. On an exhale, if your arm is in the air, bring it to your side. Use an in-breath to come out of the twist. Remember what the inhale does. It fills us up from the inside. So use the in-breath to come out of the twist. Both hands to the chair back. Push into your back heel. Inhale and come up. Step together. Good work. Second side. Right foot forward, left leg back. It's a short stance, a short shape. Breathe. Draw down through your tail, lift up through your heart. Steadfast legs. You know that has something to do with the inner line of the legs and the outer line of the legs. Can you find both actions in both legs? In breath, reach your arms up to the sky. Hinge from your hip crease, forward fold. Hands can go to the chair back. Let's bring the right hand to the pelvis. Left hand can go chair back or chair seat. As the left hand comes down, it's working on a diagonal towards the right corner. Remember what the right side of the pelvis really wants to do, and we have to say, well, I know you're willing to go forward, but I really need you to go back right now. So use your right hand to help remind the right side of your pelvis to draw back behind you. And what that'll do is it'll give you the space that you need on the right side waist that you can turn. So from your pelvis, drawing back, extend through your right armpit. Push down with your left hand while you remain steadfast in your legs. On an exhale, turn from the back body, your left rib cage, to the right. The back of the left ribs are turning right. You know what you can do with those inhales, right? Just like you did in the warm-up. Breathe, and on the inhale, allow yourself to fill, open from the inside of you, and puff up. It's like a circumferential puff up from the inside. That's from the inhale. Just breathe in. Option is top arm up to the sky. Continue to draw the right side of the pelvis back. Steadfast through your legs. Left ribs moving right. Wait for an inhale. Return the ribs back to center. Walk your hands towards the chair back. Extend through your heart, reach back through your tail. With your spine long, push with your feet. Inhale and come up. Step your feet together. Step back for L pose. Bend your knees. Breathe. Walk into your chair to come out. All right, we're going down to the floor. Pick your leg. You've already done your knee drops to the floor. So do you want to take the right leg back because it's your harder leg or your easier leg, or do you want to take your left leg back? Your choice. So here we go. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Step back into a lunge, back knee down. Second knee down, you're in kneeling. Move your chair out of the way. Come down onto your bottom. Hold on to your hamstrings and lay all the way down on your mat. All the way down. So you're on your back. On your back with your knees bent, arms down by your side. Walk your feet and your knees towards one another. Open your arms out to a T and turn your palms open to the sky. Squeeze your legs together. And on an exhale, take both knees to the right. Keep squeezing your top leg and your bottom leg together. And it really means you've got to lift your bottom leg up into your top leg. That's the trick. As you continue to squeeze your legs together, turn your right ribs to the left. Start at the base of your ribs. And on every exhale, turn your right ribs to the left. Move up into the chest area, turn the right side of the rib cage in your chest area to the left. Up into the collarbone area. Right ribs turning left. See everything out of your right eye. And then with your right eye leading, turn your head to look left. Squeeze your legs together. On an in-breath, you're going to fill up. Everything back to center. Breathe. Let's go to the other side. So squeeze your legs. Bottom leg, left leg has to lift and squeeze into the right leg because gravity wants to pull it away. So that's the ultimate, like that, what the left leg is doing is the ultimate pillow squeeze, right? The left leg has to do a little bit more. Once your two knees have dropped over to the left and you've continued to remain steadfast in your legs, now there's this willingness to turn open and see things differently. Start in the rib cage. So foundation steady, legs squeezing. On exhales, base of the ribs, back of the ribs, turn from left to right. Use another exhale to turn from left to right, the chest area of your rib cage, right? But it's the back of the chest. Now up underneath the collarbone, there's ribs there too. Allow them to turn from left to right. So your head really hasn't moved yet, right? It's going to be the last thing to move, and it's going to move because of our eye. So now see the world with your left eye. If you can, even close your right, you can close your right. And let your left eye look to the right. And now lead the head turn with the eyes, telling your nervous system, over here. See things anew. Breathe. Steadfast in your legs. In breath, fill it up. Everything back to center on that inhale. Draw your knees into your chest. Place your feet on the floor, arms out to a T or by your side. Meet the soles of your feet together. So you're in the pinky toe edges of your feet and your knees go out wide. So your legs will look kind of like a butterfly shape. Press the soles of your feet together. Push down into the pinky toe edges of each foot. Drag your feet isometrically towards your pelvis while you reach out from your hip creases to your knees. Another breath here. This is called bound angle pose on your back. And in Sanskrit, it's supta. Supta means supine. Baddha, which means bound. And then supta baddha konasana, and konasana means angle. Squeeze your legs together, supta baddha konasana, and close your legs to the midline. Keep your knees bent, bring your arms down by your side. Just one last thing, this is with the eyes. Now, if it bothers your nervous system to move your eyes in this way, just let your eyes recede in the sockets. Let your eyes get heavy in the sockets. So you want to imagine like behind your eyeballs, there's a lot of space and your eyes can recede and fall back into that space. Eyes look up towards your eyebrows, just your eyes, not your head. Eyes look down to your cheekbones. One more time, just the eyes up, eyes down. Now eyes to the right, both of them looking right. Both eyes look left. One more time, eyes right, eyes left, eyes to center. Now eyes to the upper right corner of each eye. Both eyes upper right. Both eyes bottom left. One more time, both eyes upper right. Both eyes bottom left. Eyes to center. Switching, both eyes upper left. Both eyes bottom right. Keep breathing. Again, both eyes upper left. Both eyes bottom right. Eyes to center. If your eyes are tired, you can take a break. You don't have to continue on. Also, if it's affecting your nervous system, if it's making you feel funny in any way, right? Just back off. Working with the eyes is a big deal. It's how you take a lot of information in. So you know where you are, you know that you're safe, then you know what your possibilities are. And sometimes we have blind spots, literally, like we don't know we can go in that direction. So breathe. It's okay if you just let yourself rest here and don't continue with these last few exercises. All right, only if it's right for you. So it's going to get a little crazy. We're going to go over to the right with the eyes, both eyes right, up towards the eyebrows, both eyes looking left, upper left, bottom right. So you're making a circle. Upper right, center, over to the left, bottom right. Keep that circle going. One more time, bigger, faster movement, right? And now reverse. So go slow at first, right? Just hit each corner, slow on the circle. And then when it feels okay and you're like, yeah, I can spot all that, circle the eyes. This is what your mother told you not to do. Like, don't roll your eyes at me. And I'm saying, go ahead, roll your eyes at me. All right, hold center, breathe. Doing good. And again, last one. You don't have to do this. You can just let the eyes rest in the sockets, let them be heavy and resting back into the space behind them, right? So they're no longer pushing forward into life seeking options. You can just rest and let the possibilities appear, the choices. Last one, it's a little crazy. They're figure eights. So let's start bottom left, upper right, circle around to the top. You're over to the left side, upper, go to the bottom, right. Got that? So it's a figure eight. So you know what a figure eight looks like, right? It's laying on its side. So the figure eight is not from like forehead to chin. The figure eight that you're drawing is more like the infinity symbol or like a Mobius strip. And it's laying on its side. So the two kind of circle parts of the eight are on the right side of you and the left side of you. Reverse the direction that you're drawing your figure eights. And this is weird, I know, hang on. Or just stop, take a break and breathe. Really having lots of opportunities here to explore new paths of how we're taking in information, how we're receiving it, and how we're responding to it. Finish on this one. Breathe. Stretch your arms out, your legs out. Close your eyes. Rest. Rest in this steadfast, ever-present quality of you. You're still here. You're steady. You're strong. Part of your survival, your ability to still be here and thriving, is this willingness to open and see things in new ways. Let yourself be heavy. Rest fully.